one of our companies that we work with, decided that they were going to consolidate a lot of their in vivo operations, which were spread out across an existing campus that had grown organically. And as a result, some of the shared functionalities between these groups were literally a mile apart, and people were walking back and forth between buildings multiple times a day, creating a huge churn and a pretty significant inefficiency. So when they realized that all of this was happening and there was an opportunity to consolidate, we looked at that first as a master plan, understanding how we could bring these people back together and what was a strategy that would really work to enhance their efficiency and their collaboration. The result of that master plan study was two parts. One, a 300,000 gross square foot reduction in the space that they were occupying for this group. We just found so many redundancies throughout the group because they had grown organically and spread out. Well, I need this thing. Okay, the next time we need to build another group, that group needs that thing as well, and because you're in different buildings, you're not sharing. So we can't get that efficiency. So we actually decommissioned 2 facilities altogether from this group. We were able to remove that much operation from them without changing their workflow. And then we identified that to get them into the future, what they needed was a center of excellence that could unite their research and development going long-term down the road. So that started out as a 90,000 square foot speculative addition to one of their main hubs. Keep in mind that 90,000 square foot number. It's going to come back later. There we go. So when we started that process, there was a lot of people that we interviewed and we talked to on the user side, on the client side, and on their facility side, because again, bring everybody to the table. And we heard this. We heard we need all of these things. This is basically how we got to the 90,000 square foot number in the first place. We need 2 of these, 4 of these, 5 of this. But that really wasn't the case, because when we asked more questions, what we started to learn was, well, we don't really need. What we actually mean is we want these. We want every single one of our nano rooms to have its own individual prep and its own observation. We want all of these private offices, and we want all of these meeting spaces, and we want individual CTU storage and storage and storage and storage and storage. And the more we talked to all of these groups, we said, something's up here, something's up, we gotta dive deeper. And that's what you should do on projects when you're at that early phase, is dive as deep as you can. Because we discovered that it wasn't just we want, it was we each want. We each want a storage room. We each said we need a CTU and a prep and this. And what we discovered was that as everyone put their individual lists together, they were talking about the same spaces. But because they were not talking in tandem with each other, they were each asking for them simultaneously. So when we went back, we realized this is actually the same room. The room you're talking about using, that's the same room they use on a daily basis. You just schedule it at different times. So you don't each need that room. So we took that whole list. We had some tough conversations, which actually went relatively well in the long run. And we broke that list down into this is what you actually need. And we said, you don't need 90,000 square feet. You actually only need about 43,000 to get this project built, which drastically changed the mindset of the team at large, the schedule, and the overall funding strategies of how we were going to move forward.
And as a result of that, we're building lasting partnerships. Not just between ourselves and the client, but ourselves and our trade partners, with that trusted partnerships and those early collaborations, it creates continued project success, not just for a single project, but over the course of an entire portfolio of projects.